Very good morning to you. Welcome to the paper review on Quest Television and Quest FM. My name is Alex Obunaya. So glad to be here. Hope you had a swell weekend. I did. And it's a beautiful Monday morning here in the city of Ughelli. I hope it's beautiful too, wherever you're listening or watching us from. Without much ado, let's go straight to the dailies. We have 5 papers up for review this morning. Daily Trust, The Guardian, The Nation, The Punch, and Daily Sun newspaper. You know how we do it every morning. We're going to be reviewing the top stories on the front pages of these papers that I have listed. And then we have our regular analyst here this morning, Comrade Odomo, will be here to make sense out of some of these headlines. And of course, later on the program, we shall be throwing the phone lines open for you to air your views. Without further ado, let's go straight to the dailies. I did say we have 5 newspapers this morning. Maybe I should first say good morning to you, Comrade Odomo Efe. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. God bless you, and we hope for a bright week.
You're looking tapper.
Oh yes, I'm just coming out of a very fine and beautiful weekend.
Beautiful. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, I hope you all too came out from a very beautiful weekend like he did. Okay, let's go straight to the dailies this morning. We're going to start out with Daily Trust this morning. The lead story on its front page, farmers decry exclusion from 1.5 billion naira relief materials. Talking about the 2022 flooding. Farmers decry exclusion from 1.5 billion naira relief materials. Okay, still on the front page of the newspaper, military directly below the masthead, military kicks as PSC warns police to lead terrorism war. Military kicks as PSC warns police to lead military war. And moving on, 4 victims of Kaduna mosque attack left behind 61 orphans and widows. Okay, that's you can get that story on the front page of, it's on page 7 actually. Expert differs as government celebrates 400 days of zero greed collapse. You get that on page 32. I want to die a Muslim, ex-traditional worshipper Yao Shun says after embracing Islam. Good for her. Finally, father, 2 sons die in Anambra building collapse. That's a sad one. Okay, let's go straight to the Guardian newspaper. We're going to try and be as quick as we can. Cyber criminals exploit weak regulations to harvest data, defraud Nigeria. That's on page 6. NLC insists on strike despite government's overtures as new tax regime commences. That's also on the front page. You can actually read that story on page 6. FG gives ultimatum to illegal miners, targets 50% GDP contribution. That story is on page 3. And single-term tenure is enough for president governors. You can read up that story on page 12. And finally, from the Guardian newspaper, unpaid claims of failed underwriters worsen sector's battered image. That's for the finance sector. That story can be read on page 18. And moving on to the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper has as its lead story the strike by Labour, which is scheduled for tomorrow. Warning strike, that is. And TUC snobs NLC strike call. That's the lead story on the front page of the Nation newspaper. And directly below the masthead, Tinubu targets global capital in India. President leaves for G20 summit. Okay. Above the masthead, marketers, why we can't break NNPCL's import monopoly. Illegal miners get 30-day ultimatum to vacate sites. And NMA cautions health workers on incessant strikes. Okay, that's from the health sector. You can read up all of those if you find them interesting. Flood risk rises in Lagos, Nasarawa, Bayelsa coastal communities. That's also a story that may also be of interest to you. That's that from the Nation newspaper. Let's quickly look at Punch newspaper. So, election petitions, tribunal decides Tinubu 25 governors cases September. Tribunal decides Tinubu 25 governors cases September. And it comes with riders. The tribunals serve or reserve judgment in Lagos, Sokoto, Kano. Other parties resort to prayers. APC not under pressure, says legal advisor. Labour Party, PDP confident of victory. Above the masthead, State NLC TUC order workers to join nationwide strike. That's above the Punch masthead. And still above the masthead, federal government plans mining firm pushes gold 6 minerals. And finally, Forex, domestic operators lament over 40 aircraft grounded abroad. One last story from the Punch newspaper before we move over to the final paper up from review this morning. Waste managers urge Sanwo-Olu to probe accumulated debts. That's in Lagos State, and you can find that story on page 26 of the Punch newspaper. And finally, Daily Sun, Labour in fresh showdown with federal government. That's the lead story on the front page, boldly written on its front page. It comes with riders, begins 2 days warning strike tomorrow as government plans talks with union today. That story can be found on page 6 of the Sun newspaper. G20, federal government to decide membership after consultation at summit. Tinubu departs for summit in India. That's on page 27. Naira will bounce back against foreign currency, says Adeboye. That's on page 6. GTCO records 327 billion naira profit in the first quarter of this year, 2023. Protests as PDP clears Edo LG polls. Results reflect people's wish, says Obaseki. Tinubu not illegal president. Tinubu not illegal president, NBA, tax federal government on security, economy, and judicial independence. That's on page 29. Okay, that's that from the dailies. Right about now, we shall be taking your calls this morning. And if you're watching, the numbers are on your screen. And if you're listening on Quest FM, I'm going to read out the numbers quickly. 081 88 888 931. 081 88 888 931 or 080 22 931 931. With those numbers, you can call and try and make your comments very, very brief. But while we wait for the calls to start coming in, Comrade Omo.
Yeah.
Yeah, glad to know you're
Like
still
with you.
Yes, we've seen the headlines.
Yes.
Activating ones. Unfortunately, or funny enough, not all the papers believe that the NLC strike should occupy their lead story or front page, lead cover, I should say. Let's do a nation newspaper. TUC snobs NLC strike call. They seem to be the labor unions seem to be like a house divided against.
And I don't blame TUC for not going along with NLC. When did we have the last one? Is it up to, I don't think it's up to a month now. What did they come up with? Nothing. Then they want to call for another strike again. Everybody gets food every time. People will think that it's just a choice, but you just go and just announce it, call it to a roundtable conference and do something under the table, and the next moment you are calling it off. If I didn't think that they've been able to put their feet on ground and they have achieved some of these agitations, I don't think all these things will be there. So why do we have confidence in them now that if they call the strike, they will actually achieve and achieve the yearning of Nigerians? So the best thing is let everybody just tuck in their tails and run away like the dog with his tail under his inside. I don't understand. I don't believe in actions anymore.
Okay, that's that for the strike issue. Although the government is planning to see how well they can do to avert it, do you see any last-minute turnaround?
Yes, there is nothing that is impossible. The only thing that is impossible is impossibility. Anything can happen. Government can still intervene. That is if they feel that they have the witness or they have the political power to surmount this down. But I don't think that it's going to last more than 1 or 2 days if actually they go on the strike. Because actually Nigerians are tired. Whether we like it or not, Nigerians are tired. I was reading one headline on the internet said Nigerians will go stockpiling. Where is even the funds to do that?
To buy the foodstuffs and stock them at home.
Just have only today because the money strike starts tomorrow. It's actually to take off. So the timing is very late and the government, well, I believe that there is a settlement procedure that every government can adopt to avert all these type of situations.
Okay, let's go to Punch newspaper. Tribunal decides Tinubu 25 governors cases September, and that's the month we are in. As we
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Okay, we already have a call. Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, President David from
Sorry, what's your name, sir?
Yes, please. Go to David from Museli.
Okay, David, go ahead. What?
The respect of the farmers in Isuku here, we are not carrying along respect because the farmers have deprived for many years ago, and even the flood affected them not to give it to the farmers. So I don't know why. Because government has reduced it, and the farmer is not benefiting from it. So that's why I had to call into the buy any money to give it something. Even the state is still giving something, but the farmer is not benefiting.
It's all right then, David. Thank you so much. I think David is drawing his analysis from the Daily Trust. 2022 flooding, farmers decry exclusion from 1.5 billion naira relief materials. Why were they excluded? What could be the reason for
it depends on those who compile the list and the statistics they use. You see, but this is supposed not to have been so. This is supposed to have been allocated to areas of the flood, and we have representatives there. You know, a situation like this, possibly they were released and somebody actually sat on them, or they were not even remembered at all. If they were not remembered in the sharing formula, then those who are representing those areas should be called for questioning, because I think it was widely publicized and nobody should be excluded in this type of a situation. Because once you are able to settle the stomach infrastructure, about half of your problems are solved. So they should think twice if they have not included, and it's not they've just had distributed that money. They still have a wider chance of making the list if their representatives are up and doing.
Okay. Directly below the masthead of Daily Trust, there's a story. Military kicks as PSC, that's Police Service Commission, wants police to lead terrorism war.
It will be too difficult. The police do not have that war capability to do that. The terrorism in the world today has taken a new dimension that even the military is finding it difficult to cope. Did you hear what happened in Lagos over the weekend? Gas gun. Have you heard of it before? Gas gun. A man was caught with a gas gun, and instead of either surrendering himself or allowing himself to be arrested, jumped into the lagoon to evade arrest. So how can the police confront such things? Do they have the military hardware to confront these boys, knowing fully well that what those boys carry is almost air to air missile? Can the police don't have such equipment? And if the military kicks, I'm in their support. Because you cannot go for air raid. Can the police go for air raid? Can they go for bush war? Several things are there that the police cannot. The police are supposed to be civil law-keeping securities. That is why they call them that they are supposed to be in charge of safety and security in terms of a crisis. So that is not their duty.
And they leave that on for the guys who are trained to do it.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, while we still wait for more calls, there's a story on the front page of the Daily Trust. Nigeria mulls G20 membership as Tinubu attends summits in India. Nigeria. Okay, there's a call coming in. Hi, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Can you please be audible? Can you speak up, please?
Hello, good morning, sir.
Fine, good morning. Tell us your name, sir.
Yes, FM.
This is Quest FM, yes, and Quest Television. Go ahead. Hello, are you there? Okay, we may have lost that call. Okay.
Hello.
Okay, fine. Good morning to you. Tell us your name quickly.
Good morning. This is 93.1.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
The problem I have is Emmanuel is not speaking.
Sorry?
Emmanuel is speaking from Isoko.
Okay, Emmanuel from Isoko.
Yeah, from now. The issue I have, a settlement of this country is not a good that it will make us, we don't know where we are going to. It's good that we make everything so easy for us. Play, as we are talking about this year is running on credit. Many things that some people say they're able to eat, no problem. And gas is rising. So filling gas now is difficult to some people. So you tell to speak to the federal government to reduce those things for all that will feel benefit from inside. That is the lady.
Emmanuel, thank you so much. we want to believe the authorities are listening and they are watching, and they also act decisively. Yes, Nigeria. Okay, hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Nigeria moves membership of G20 summit. Nigeria moves G20 membership as Tinubu attends summits in India.
Well, all these summits, groups, they form around the world. They're supposed to be a developmental program for every country. But Nigeria has been part and parcel of all these organizations from its creation or our creation. But have they actually benefited us? It's not enough just to travel for a summit to come back and sit down and do the opposite of what you have gone for. If they will be able to translate these things in terms of construction, agricultural, the economic development, they will be better off. And one thing he said that I actually love, where they were to move or to leave the country for this General Assembly, United Nations General Assembly, when he said if those people that have no business in that travel should not actually even bother themselves to leave. Yeah. The same thing he did in this one. But I should believe that when they are going for such issues, those relevant ministers and ministries that are beneficial to that institution should be moved along so that the president cannot do everything when he gets there.
Okay, I have to stop you because we seem to run out of time. But one last story I want us to... Hi, good morning to you. One last story I want us to look at is the Naira. Naira will bounce back against foreign currencies, says Adeboye.
On what basis?
Adeboye, we know who he is. But,
he's a minister of God, not a minister of finance.
This is about religion. It's about God now.
Yes, this is not minister. This is not a religious matter. This is a finance matter. You cannot show up your financial base if you don't have those with at all to show it up. What do we have in Nigeria today? I want to show the Naira base. Nothing. Are you exporting anything? No, we are importing. Even including toothpick, we import. You are saying that the Naira will bounce back. From which angle of it is it bouncing back? Number one, when your economy is already dollarized, you are bringing back the Naira to on a strong base. How do you do it? On what footing are you going to place it in the first place? So we should do what belongs to us, what we are called for, and leave what we don't know anything about.
Okay, I guess that's the much we can take. Comrade Omar, thank you so much for your expert analysis on the issues making the headlines on the pages of these papers that we have just considered. Thank you so much for being part of the program. Before we go, I'd like to say a big thank you to Vanguard newspapers because they are our sponsors, the segments of this program. My name is Alex Munaya. Let's do this again tomorrow.